Hey, what's going on there, fellow delinquents? Mischief here, and I know I haven't made a video in a while. I apologize about that, but as you can see, the weather has not been very cooperative lately, as well as I've been picking up some extra shifts at work. Anyway, let's talk about the Sig FUSE. Now, I was rather intrigued about the Sig FUSE, and you're probably wondering, why would somebody be interested in the Sig FUSE? All it is a 17-round version of the 365. And I think, in my personal opinion, the FUSE is actually pretty ingenious. For what it is. First off, this is not a full fuse. As you can see, that this one right here actually has the safety lever on it, as well as this is not the fuse grip. This is actually the X macro grip, because I wanted to add the thumb safety to it, and the fuse grip module did not have the thumb safety. Another thing that the fuse grip has is it's got a magwell right here, which I thought was rather kind of redundant, because I want to try and maintain as small of a size as possible. But I did bring out my Glock 45 just as kind of a comparison, and you can see that the Glock 45 is probably maybe a good 25% fatter, 20% fatter maybe. And then as far as height is concerned, the Glock is still, yeah, if I match up the beaver tails, the Glock is still probably about a good, I'd probably say maybe about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch taller. And yeah, the overall length though, the fuse is maybe about the same. Now, why do I say that this might be a really viable pistol, why this technology right here is ingenious, is because this is the direction pistols are going. If you look at how pistols are being chosen by the military, it's always smaller, more capacity. Start off with revolvers with the US military, and they were like, well, let's go to a semi-auto. So they adopted the 1911 back in 1911. And the 1911 was a 40-ounce, 41-ounce, all steel frame pistol that held 7 rounds of 45. And they were like, great, what's the next evolution in the military pistols? Well, it's the Beretta 92, the M9, and it went from 40 ounces to 32 ounces, and it held 15 rounds. And then, where did the military go from there? They went and adopted the Sig M17, M18. Now you've got an even lighter pistol that holds 2 more rounds than the Beretta did. And now what do we have with this? We now have a smaller pistol than the M17 with about the same length barrel, and it holds the same capacity. So this particular pistol right here, I've shot quite a bit of it, never had a single malfunction. However, I did have a little bit of an issue with the optic. I lost my zero. In the last practice match that I did, you'll see that I was shooting a little bit to the right. And when I looked at my iron sights and I slaved it to my dot, I noticed that the dot was actually favoring a little bit to the left. So one of the things that I think is ingenious about the Sig FUSE is that for its size, it still holds 17 rounds of 9mm. And this one's just using 10-round magazines. I prefer 10-round magazines for the range, just for practice. But yeah, so we're going to run 10 rounds. I had to re-zero the dot. The dot was actually kind of favoring a little bit to the right, so I just slaved it to the iron sights. We got a paper target out there about 10 yards, maybe 11 yards. I don't know. I just walked it out there. I counted about 11 steps. So let's go ahead and try. We'll shoot at that top one right there, the little orange and black. Ooh, I dropped that one pretty bad. Okay, that's another one. Alright, let's go take a look at it real quick. So I was doing fine up until these 2 shots right here. So, these 2 shots right here, part of that is the trigger. I'm not a huge fan of the P365 triggers, and the reason why is because right here, there's your slack. I don't mind the take-up. I don't mind the take-up to the wall. It's from here to about here, that right there, that's when I start losing it. I'm trying to press, 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 press. And as you got that long wall, if you have a very long wall, like what some people might call a squishy trigger, if you got that long wall, what tends to happen is you're pulling the gun down as you're trying to shoot the gun. And so if you're not paying attention, and just once in a while, you just kind of pull the gun down just a hair, and we got these two flyers right here. So let's go ahead and we're going to go grab the Glock 45, and we're going to shoot this bottom one right here. All right, so we got the Glock Model 45 and 9mm. And let's go ahead and take a couple shots at that black target down there. And of course, yes, Glocks do jam. I'm thinking it's because of the ETS mags. Well, let's try that again. And that was my last shot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the group. Much, much better. Much, much better. And I did walk it a little bit to the left there. I don't know if I confirmed these sights. I haven't played with them a little bit, but I think I might need to adjust them. They are favoring a little bit to the left. But you definitely see a little bit of difference between this group and this group right here. This one just dropped a couple because I'm not a big fan of that trigger. I actually prefer the Glock triggers. I'm actually kind of a fan of the Glock triggers, especially the Gen 5 triggers. They actually do pretty well for me. 5 rounds, 5 yards. Okay. And as you can see, we dropped 2. So this pistol does rise a little bit, but for its size and weight, it's actually really, really manageable. It's very controllable. I like shooting it fast. I don't mind shooting it fast. What I do mind, however, is this Holosun SCS Carry right here. It is a fairly small window. And this one right here, I have a tendency, as I'm coming up and down, I will lose the dot. And that's just one thing that I really don't care for as far as this Holosun is concerned. But other than that, yeah, I mean, the pistol shoots, it manages the recoil very well. Oh, it's a P365. Let's see, we had a 84, 21, 21, a 19, a 21. So, yeah, I mean, low 20s and a 19 in there, that's not bad for that tiny little gun. All right, let's go ahead and pull out the Glock 45 here. Okay, we got our dot. Okay. I was able to shoot a little bit faster, but I lost my dot for a second. Well, 111, had a 45, a 25, a 19, and 18. So we had a 19 and an 18. That's actually really, that's pretty good for this pistol. We can do one more. We can do one more. Let's see. Yeah, my dot's not bright enough. Maybe. I haven't getting used to that green dot. I'm not using red dots lately. Okay. So we had a 76, a 21, an 18, a 20, and a 20. So we definitely were shooting this one faster, and we only dropped 1. So, yeah, Glock 45. I'm definitely shooting this a little bit better than the 365 FUSE, but still, like, this gun right here, it's such a joy to shoot. I like shooting this gun. Okay, so got a plate rack there at 50 feet. Let's go ahead and take a couple shots. Okay, just one miss. I definitely rushed that shot. That was definitely me. That would have been a perfect run, too. So, yeah, I mean, the FUSE run's great. It shoots really nice. It definitely shoots pretty good for its size. So, the FUSE shoots really good for its size. This is such a small gun, but it does manage recoil very well. What might make you choose one over the other? But with the Glock right here, what I like about it is that there is no reason for me to go to a gunsmith to service this pistol. I'm not kidding. Like, I can do everything. These sights, I installed these sights on myself. I can do all the internal stuff. I need to change out the plastic channel, the inner channel in here. I can do that. If I want to swap out optics, I can do that. Swap out the barrel, I can do that. Well, I mean, you can do that with this. Any of the internals, the striker, the springs, the trigger, the trigger assembly, I can do all that. The magazine release, I can literally do all that with this. I don't even have to watch a YouTube video. I've done it so many times. With the 365, the internals in this, it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more involved. I gotta watch a YouTube video to make sure that I don't screw something up, and sometimes I still screw it up after that. So with this pistol right here, I just feel like I wouldn't have as easy of a time to actually replace anything, or I might need to go to a specialist or a gunsmith to actually do some of the work needed to maintain this pistol. This one, not so much. Now, this pistol right here does have some advantages. The 365 is not just a pistol, it's an entire economy. There's all different kinds of parts from all the previous 365s, and they are all 100% interchangeable. Let me show you something. So here we have the 365 FUSE, and here we have the 365 XL. It's the same FCU. So these ones right here, you can get different grip modules like this, and if you destroy your grip module, you just pick up a new one for like 40, 50 bucks. These Wilson Combats are a little bit more expensive, but I highly recommend them. This is what I'm carrying right now, and this is great. I love this grip module right here. So here we have the 365 XL grip module. When I say that the 365 series is 100% interchangeable, I mean 100% interchangeable. Right there, we got the FUSE. The dust cover sticks out a little bit. That's okay. Just gonna grab a mag in there. We're gonna go, and it works. So yeah, the way that they have this pistol set up is just ingenious on how they're able to make everything 100% function with each other. Is this completely necessary? Probably not, but it's actually a really cool concept, and I think that pistols will probably be going this direction in the near future, simply because of the fact that this right here kind of gets around some of the gun laws in the United States, where if you have a serialized fire control unit, then you can go ahead and just buy one gun and then purchase all the parts that you want to fit into that one particular gun, and you don't have to do multiple background checks. You can just have a bunch of spare parts and then put it together exactly how you want. Just make sure you know how to put this thing back together, because if you screw it up, then you could potentially break something. Alright, so now we got the Sig FUSE fire control unit on the X macro grip, and we got an XL slide. We essentially created Sig P365 X macro. And so, yeah. So which pistol is better? It depends on your definition of better. I like shooting the Glock. The 365 FUSE, not quite so much. However, this does have some advantages. It's a much slimmer profile pistol. It's great for if you had to load it, throw in a backpack. It might save you enough room so you can fit another day's worth of food and water, maybe another warming layer. With the Glock, not quite so much. If you also look at the 365 FUSE as far as like a backup gun or as a pistol as a duty pistol, in case your primary, your long gun goes down and you're grabbing this is a smaller gun that's not going to add any more weight to you where you might get encumbered. With the Glock, it is definitely a bulkier pistol. Weight-wise, they're about the same. I like that the Glock is much easier to do my own personal gunsmithing. With the 365, not quite so much. So that might hopefully give you an idea which pistol that you should go for. Me personally, I just like Glock. and I like shooting Glock, and I like doing my own work on my own gun, so Glock is probably the way that I go. But I think if you're just starting out, the 365 FUSE is not a bad way to go, so go ahead and go to your local gun store and grab one and try it out and see what you think. Anyway, that's basically all I got for you, so make sure you stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, you didn't learn from me.
Meow.